Hello, welcome back. Today I will talk about the Book of Buer. It is a grimoire. Buer is a spirit of the Ars Goetia, which is a book of King Solomon called the Lesser Key of Solomon, Ars Goetia, and he is the 10th spirit of Ars Goetia, Buer. If you don't know about him, you can research. Unfortunately, what one finds about him is very little, no? It's just a little piece of history. It's almost like say, well, what I can tell you about Buer is that he is a spirit, a master of nature, a very strong and powerful king of hell. So Buer has dominion in the darkness, but that's what Ars Goetia tells us about him. Through my grimoire, through my book, through my research on him, I found beyond that very harsh and very scary appearance of him as a spirit that doesn't allow the weak to come in front of him. He tests the spirit of one, so he appears at first glance as something very powerful, or in general you just feel that power that surrounds him. But once he allows you to open the door, or he allowed me to enter into his world, I found actually a spirit that is very much connected to nature and is very harmonic to nature. He's very wise and very soft in his nature. And my grimoire opens with him where he represents, or he speaks what he is about, and the powers that he holds. It's a very beautiful grimoire, and when I was writing the grimoire, 3 words appear, which were unknown words to me. They were Sala, Sahatin, and Hia, and I wrote them as I heard them, and then after I discovered those 3 names are the names of his 3 daughters. So the book evolves then after, where the introduction of Buer enters with the part of the book where he gathers his 3 daughters and he advises them. He tells them as a father would different things for each one, And I would like to read for us that part. It's page 83. Sala, Sahatin Hia. In the garden where the soil remembers me, I called my daughters. 3 came, each carrying a different light. The first bore silence in her hands, soft and endless, like night that teaches stars how to shine. The second carried fire in her breath, wild and searching, a flame that refuses chains. The third held water in her eyes, deep and forgiving, a mirror that knows how to heal. I said to them, "You are not shadows of me, you are songs of your own, but my fire burns in your veins, my breath walks beside yours, my truth roots itself in your steps." The trees lean closer, listening, as if the garden itself wished to remember my words. I told the first, "Guard the silence. When the world roars with false tongues, let your quiet carve truth." I told the second, "Carry the fire. Do not fear its hunger. Feed it with honesty, and it will never consume you." I told the third, "Hold the water. It will teach you patience. It will teach you mercy. It will teach you strength greater than stone." They listened, their eyes mirrors of different skies, and when they spoke, the birds stopped to hear them. The first said, "I will weave silence into shields so no lie can pierce us." The second said, "I will carry fire into the dark so no shadow can remain." The third said, "I will pour water over wounds so nothing broken is left to die." And I, Buer, looked at them and knew my daughters are not my echoes. They are my continuance. They are my truth flowering into tomorrow. The garden bent in blessing. The soil took their oath. The rivers repeated their names. The wind carried their voices farther than ever even I have walked. I said only this, "Be yourselves, that is enough, that is everything." Sala, Sahatin Hia. They sat beneath the oldest tree, its roots tangled with my own memories, and the first daughter asked, "Father, why do they chase names? Why do they try to carve you into someone else?" I looked at her, and the wind shifted to brush her hair, as if the garden itself was listening. Because, I said, they fear the unborrowed, they fear what cannot be sold, what cannot be rewritten, what cannot be made small enough to fit in their hands. They cannot take what is alive, they cannot take you. You must carry that understanding like armor. The second daughter leaned forward, fire flickering in her gaze. Father, when the storms came, when shadows spoke with your voice, how did you stand? How did you not break? I smiled, though my face carried the echoes of lightning. I learned, I said. The storms are not my enemies. They are mirrors. They show what is solid inside you. To stand unbroken is not to resist. They are winds you must ride. To break is not failure. It is the soil from which strength grows. And when the shadow spoke my voice, I did not argue. I let the truth walk past and watched falsehood collapse under its own weight. The third daughter, water deep in her eyes, asked softly, Father, did you ever feel lost? Did the world ever seem too wide, too dark? I traced a line along the river that ran through the garden. Many times, I said. I walked oceans of shadow, deserts of silence, mountains that scraped the heavens. Yet every step brought me closer to myself. Even lost, I was never empty. Even every hardship became a guide, every void a lesson in belonging. The key is to trust that you carry your own light, even when the world cannot see it. Then I closed my eyes, and the garden fell silent, as if too wanted to remember every word. I let them fill my journeys, not as stories, but as vision, the deserts of silence, the lightning that sought me, the echoes of false kings that could not claim me, and the rivers that remembered my voice. See, my daughters, I said, every trial is a teacher, every shadow is an invitation. You will walk storms of your own, and you will meet echoes who are not you. Learn to see them for what they are, and never forget, your song cannot be stolen. The eldest stretched her hands to the sky. The second let flames dance across her palms. The youngest cupped water in her eyes. Together they formed a circle of air, fire, and water, and the garden breathed through them. I whispered to them, remember who you are, remember the flame, remember the river, remember the silence. You are enough, you are eternal, you are unbroken. Sala, Sahatin here. I rose from the soil that knew my steps, my daughters watching, their light a mirror of mine. Listen, I said, there is a rhythm no one teaches. It is older than kings, older than gods, older than time itself. It is the rhythm of being. To walk it, you must feel it in your bones. Hear it in your breath, carry it in your heart. I led them to the center of the garden, where rivers met and the wind wove patterns between the trees. This place remembers, I said. All who have walked before, it remembers pain and joy and truth. If you listen, it will teach you everything you need, but it will not lie to you. You must be brave enough to hear. My first daughter knelt by the water, fingers tracing ripples that carried echoes of my voice. Father, she said, how do you know what is true? I looked at her, wind lifting my hair. Truth, I said, it is not what others tell you. It is what remains when lies fall away. It is the light that does not fade, even when all else is dark. My second daughter's flame danced across her palms, curious, untamed. Father, how do you hold the fire without it consuming you? I smiled, seeing her question burn bright. By knowing it is not yours to own, it is yours to carry, to shape, to honor. Let it illuminate, not destroy. Let it warm, not burn. The fire that cannot be tamed is the one that must be respected, not conquered. My third daughter cupped water in her eyes, its reflection shifting like thought. Father, what if I fail? What if I cannot do what you did? I knelt beside her, letting my hands rest on the river's edge. Failure is not the end. It is a teacher disguised as shadow. Every stumble, every fall, every misstep is the stone that builds the bridge to your own path. You do not walk my path. You walk your own, and that is enough. That is everything. The garden leaned closer, listening. The wind carried my voice to every leaf and root, and even the birds paused in their song. My daughters, I said, remember this. You are not echoes of me. You are the first note of your own song. Carry it with pride, carry it with patience, carry it with love. And the world tries to shape you into something you are not. Stand firm. You are the flame, the river, the silence. You are the unbroken. And for a long moment we simply breathed together, the garden cradling us, the wind teaching us, the rivers repeating our names. Sala, Sahatin, here. I sat beneath the oldest tree, its roots twisting like the path I had walked. My daughters gathered around, curious, waiting for the story that had shaped me into who I am. Long ago, I began, I walked in a world that did not want me. They whispered my name to shadows, built false images, carved masks, to imitate what they could not understand. They tried to erase me, they tried to claim me, but I am not a thing to be taken. I traced the soil with my fingers, letting the earth remember each step. I crossed deserts of silence, where the sun scorched the earth and the moon hid in fear. I climbed mountains that pierced the heavens and drank from the rivers of fire and ice. Lightning sought me, but I did not flinch. Thunder roared beneath my feet, but I walked unshaken. The youngest daughter leaned close, water pooling in her eyes. "Did it hurt, father?" she asked. "Every moment," I said, "yet every wound taught me how to rise. Every shadow that spoke my name was a mirror of what I needed to understand. I learned to see through illusions and claim my truth." My second daughter, flames flickering in her hands, asked, "What did you learn from the shadows?" "That they are not me," I said. "They may echo my voice, they may walk like me, they may answer for me, but they are empty." I faced them, shattered their illusions, reclaimed what was mine. Truth cannot be borrowed, and the flame cannot be stolen. The eldest daughter, silent as night, tilted her head. "What came after the shadows?" I smiled, feeling the memory like wind on my face. "After them came the garden. It opened its arms to me. The soil remembered my steps, the trees bent towards me. The wind carried my voice, the rivers echoed my breath. I did not arrive to dominate, I arrived to be, to witness, to exist. I became myself, and in becoming myself, I learned that being enough is the greatest power of all." I looked at their faces, each reflecting a piece of my journey. "My daughters, hear this. You will face shadows, echoes, storms, and lies. You will be challenged, imitated, denied. But remember, you carry your own flame. You walk your own rivers. You speak your own truth. Nothing can take that from you. Not kings, not gods, not the void itself. You are enough." The garden seemed to sigh, and the birds sang in languages older than my memory. I rose, letting my hands brush the branches, and I said, "This is my story, but it is not yours to follow. It is a map, a warning, a promise. Walk your own path, be your own flame, and when you stumble, remember, the soil, the wind, the rivers, they remember you. You are never truly lost." Sala, Sahatin, here. And the book goes on, where Buer speaks now about himself. He speaks with his own daughters, and it's a very beautiful book. I don't know, for me it has a feeling of something very soft, because it speaks about the garden, about the birds, about nature, and this love now that Buer carries inside him for his daughters. And it was quite interesting now, because I was working at the time. I wrote the Grimoire of Buer, this book, after I wrote the Grimoire of Payman and the Grimoire of Cussion and Citri. So this was my fourth book, my fourth grimoire on Buer. And the first time I meditated on his spirit, I was very scared to even approach, because about the knowledge that I had from Ars Goetia, of him representing this very powerful being. And then once I overcame that fear, I was straight put into a vision with him, where I saw Buer as a man, so middle age approximately, and he was standing in a garden under a tree. He was with the birds, in the nature, because he's master of nature, but that place seemed a place that it was his own. There was nobody else there. It was his dominion. And this tree, even it's through the simplicity, represents something much more higher, the tree of life, or in general the past, the present, and the future, because the tree is connected to the earth, to the past, with the roots. I don't know, it has a symbolistical power which is very powerful. They say, well, it is this tree where Buer is, and he was listening to the birds. And his reaction when he saw me in that vision is that he doesn't want his peace to be disturbed. And then he started to speak to me about that everyone tried to imitate him and make him into something that he's not, and everyone tried to copy him, but there is only one Buer. That's what his first lesson was. And of course, his words or his saying created something for us too, for us as we read, that he's teaching us that even if others speak or others show other parts of you, that is not you. That's just imitation of you or their perception of you. But there's only one you, and it seems so simple, but it's so powerful, because Buer works in this metaphysical way. And then, quite in the beginning, he gave me these 3 words: Sala, Sahatin, Hia. And sometimes in my channeling, when I'm writing books, sometimes I hear other languages that are not normal language, And first I wrote them as they are, and then I thought, what means Sala? What means Sahatin? What means Hia? I thought it's some old Semitic language. And then I realized are the names of his 3 daughters. And then I got excited, and I said, well, I can write the book after with Buer talking to his daughters, and I wanted him to teach what he knows, his knowledge to his 3 daughters. That can be for us too as well interesting, because it's more about letting Buer speak in the grimoire. That's why all my grimoires are the pages are filled with the spirit of them, and they talk. They share their wisdom for us. And then in all 3 books in all this situation where he is together with his daughters, he accepts them there, and he speaks to them, and he gives his knowledge, his wisdom, his teachings further on to his daughters. And somehow so the Grimoire of Buer came to life. And it is very beautiful, very powerful book, even through its simplicity, and learning what Buer has for us to say, well, there's only one me. They try to copy me. They try to make me into who I'm not, or, all his enemies or other people. He seemed so misunderstood, and he didn't want his peace to be disturbed. He's in a place where he's at peace. He is absolutely at peace where he is, and he wants his silence. He only wants to be with the birds. He only wants to listen to the birds, because that's the only truth that for him exists. That is the truth, that is the beauty of his existence, is that simplicity of that life in nature. And Buer is known too as a spirit that heals. He's, as I've said, a master of nature, and nature is very healing, so he has power and dominion over healing. And I think the book has the abilities to heal as well, because it teaches us to not have resistance, in the same time to know how to conquer the difficulties of life. It's the same way he speaks to his daughters, how to work with the element of fire, how to work with the element of water, how to work with the element of earth, how to keep yourself sovereign and in power and in a harmony with that. Because power doesn't mean that I'm powerful because I put others down, or I step on others to become powerful. That's evil. Power is within. Buer is teaching that element of there's only one you, and you don't need to prove nothing to others, and you have to stand in your truth and not let others tell you who you are. You have to discover your own strength, your own power, your own wisdom, your own voice, your own truth. And it does have healing abilities, because it frees one. Buer is gifted. Buer is eternal. Buer is a powerful magician in this, a powerful master. And it's a very beautiful grimoire that I have written and I've published on Amazon. If you're interested to buy it, you find it on Amazon internationally. It can be ordered. And you can buy it any place in the world where you're at. You can order it. And it has 200, almost 300 pages. And there it's all about the teachings of Buer, how to live, how to be strong, how to carry the things that you have to be carried, how to be faithful, how to be gifted, and it's very much connected to nature, very much connected with the elements of nature. This what I read was only a little part from the book, but he continues to teach his daughters and continue to teach us, how to use the different elements of nature to strengthen us, to find the truth, to find the way, to find the healing that we need. And the cover reads, Buer. Within these pages, the spirit of Buer speaks in flame, wind, and song, a poetic grimoire of awakening, remembrance, and return. Each verse is both invocation and reflection, a hymn for those who seek truth in silence and light in shadow. The faithful listens, the gifted rises, the gardener remembers every name. Sala, Sahatin, here. So it's very much connected to the garden, to the vision that I had with Buer. That was the only vision that I had. It was him in the garden, and the birds were singing, and he was sitting under a tree, he was standing under a tree, and he was very much connected to the tree and to the birds, to the element of nature. And he was very much at peace, and he didn't want his peace to be disturbed. He was very powerful and strong, his dominion. No? He is a king. Buer is a king, a very powerful king. And I was very surprised to because in other grimoires they're all very beautiful, but I was surprised that such a strong spirit as Buer has such a soft but such a wide understanding of the world, of the all elements, that construct our reality. And that simplicity showed me what a high master he truly is, because he found that simplicity. He resolved the complexity of everything. He almost like it's almost like if you think of afterlife, what are the things you need in that afterlife to make you happy, to be at peace? And that was the part of what Buer spirit needs, is a tree, the element of nature, and the birds singing. And as I've said, it is a very book which can create a form of meditation, because those elements seem very simple, but they are very complex, very beautiful, and they carry a lot of meaning through that simplicity. To say, well, a master is not a master that necessarily fights and deals with a lot of things, is the one who has already conquered all the elements, so now he can be at peace, he can rest at peace, and he's able to protect that peace that he has conquered, that he has found. And he never let himself be conquered by any challenge. He knows how to protect himself from that, and he knows how to live in that truth, in that silence, in that light and shadow of life. And it's like a beautiful reflection, for us humans as well, to go back to the simplicity and to understand, well, what are the elements that I need in my life, and how I can conquer those parts in me that I don't know how to handle, that I might need help with. And the three daughters of Buer, Sala, Sahatin, here, they carry these three elements of the earth, the water, and the fire, and they are asking their father Buer how to work with those elements. It's not easy to learn how to work with the fire or with the element of water. If there is too much water, one can be drowned. Water represents the emotions. If you don't know how to work with fire, it will destroy you. How to find that balance in between. So Buer is a master of nature, and nature is life, so he's a master of life as well. And he's teaching his daughters, and through my grimoire, he's teaching us as well how to conquer this duality, and how to find that beautiful eternal soul that we all carry, and how to be at peace. It is a very healing book. I'm sure when somebody reads it, it will be very revealing, interesting. You learn new things, and it will create that harmony inside you, because it is finally a book that will heal, has the healing abilities, because Buer is a master healer. And I will leave this recording here. If you're interested to buy the book and have it for yourself, it's a very beautiful book called Buer. It's a grimoire. It is written in verse. All the book is written in this verse. It's written by me and illustrated by me, Anaïs Giulia. I'm the writer of this book, and you can find it on Amazon if you put my name, Anaïs Giulia, or if you put Buer on Amazon, or if you look on my page here on YouTube, you can have the my author page where you can see all the books that I have published. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, all the best. Bye.